I was very, I formed some of my thoughts. I would like to just cite a friend of mine who is a professor of contemporary Italian literature at Siena, at the University per Stranieri di Siena. Her name is Tiziana de Rogatis. She's from Naples, and she works on Ferrante. And she's written a series of very interesting articles, if anybody is interested, on Elena Ferrante, and working mainly from the idea, very much from a kind of psychoanalytic reading point of view, which I think I think the work merits that. That's not all that it's about, but I think there are deep elements, shall we say. But she really looks at it through the filter of mythology. And so one of the things that opened up for me reading some of her commentary on Ferrante was the idea of the Persephone myth, Demeter and Persephone, the mother-daughter, that myth as being a kind of cornerstone and a point of referral continually for Ferrante, beginning with Amore Molesto, in which it's kind of a reversal because it's the daughter looking for the mother and not the other way around. And then, of course, in the Neapolitan novels, you have mothers looking for their children on various levels, real and more emotional levels, shall we say. And the anger of the mother, the character, all of the mothers, all the books have mothers. That's just, needless to say, every book has a mother.
Most of them have dolls.
And many of them have dolls. There are a lot of dolls, and there are a lot of daughters. Yeah. And so the mother-daughter bond, I think, is, again, like Smarginatura, to me, it's one of those sort of basic ganci, you hold on to that, and you see everything starts opening up by means of this, it starts to open up all sorts of pathways, I think, in how we can read these works. What else?
Can you talk a little more about Persephone?
Well, I think, I don't know how everyone, in a way I don't want to talk too much about what happens in terms of the plot, because it really is so powerful when it does happen. But there is, again, to go back to the idea of Smarginatura, what is it? It's fusion. What is fusion? It's how life begins. You're fused with your mother. You're inside, and you are not her, and she is not herself anymore, because you are this entity, right? That is how all life begins, and I think this is something that Ferrante is looking at very carefully and very subtly on many levels, and her plots, her characters, the movement, the arc, the energy of these books, that is throughout. I don't think you can escape this idea of this fusion that is both, as I say, I think a life force, what is the force that gives life, but it's also the suffocating nature of life, and especially that mother-daughter bond, which is famously suffocating, and certainly in Ferrante we see that, and the mother is not only the literal mother, the mother is also Naples, the mother is also dialect. There's something that Ferrante herself says in the Frantumalia, which is a series of her letters and some essays and interviews and things, a sort of anthology, and actually Tiziana de Rogatis cites it, talking about Naples. This is Ferrante on Naples, saying it's not a place, it's a prolungamento del corpo, so it's an extension of the body, and so that really fuses, I think for me as a reader, the idea of you have the mother, you have the city, you have the point of origin. They're interchangeable, like so many other things in these novels, in these books. Things are what they are and what they're not. Things are fluid, things are interchangeable, and then there are these violent moments of death, of abandonment, of recreation, of willful reinvention that break the scheme and then change the panorama, you know.